Your girl is literally the prettiest woman in the land, so of course, the emperor had to snatch her up into his palace. Now all she does is cry. So his majesty just waves a hand, and sends the crown prince to comfort me. This famously brutal crown prince tried to cheer me up for 3 whole days but nothing. Eventually he just throws his hands up and asks, I rule all 4 seas, whatever you desire I can give you. I miss my mom. Alright, from today onward, I'm your mother. A month later, I woke up in the crown prince's chambers, only to hear him grumble, what are you doing here? I just barely got her to sleep. My mom married young to a good man, but then my dad passed away early. Heartbroken, she took me away from that sad capital. 10 years later your girl was officially on the marriage market, so she brought me back to the capital, hoping my grandma could set me up with a good match. But plot twist, mom got married before I did. So grandma set me up on a blind date with none other than the emperor himself, who was slumming it incognito. He totally ignored my fresh, youthful beauty, but then he went full simp mode, bought out all the snacks on the street, and completely won me over. The emperor was so gentle and refined, and he and my mom totally bonded over the struggles of single parenting. In less than 3 months, my mom was totally smitten and agreed to his courtship. But when it came time to discuss the wedding, we were all like, wait, that's the current emperor? My mom's face instantly dropped. Your Majesty, the humble one has already pledged her heart. I vowed to remain faithful to my late husband. Mom, don't you want me anymore? If you don't want me, how will I even live? Mom, take me with you. Bablut to the Emperor Bway. The emperor was totally dumbfounded, like, yesterday she was calling me stepdad, now I'm a dog? But he didn't get that. If my mom married him, she'd be trapped for the rest of her life in the deep, dark, forbidden city. We seriously just thought he was some basic rich dude. Last night my mom and I were literally plotting how much gold and silver he'd leave me when he died, wondering if it'd be enough for me to splurge. But if stepdad is the emperor, he definitely can't leave me the throne. Ugh. Everyone knew the former empress passed early, leaving behind only one crown prince. Even the most princes couldn't touch the crown prince's position. I didn't want to never see my mom again, or for her to never see, outside the forbidden city. So even though they poured treasures into my room like a river, I stayed silent. After failing to get a peep out of me, the prime minister came to gently persuade me. Even the arrogant crown prince was forced by the emperor to come to my door and obediently call my mom mother. Everyone in the capital was gossiping that the emperor had stolen my mom, but only I knew her face was getting paler, her expression sadder by the day. That day, she told me to go play at my uncle's. By the time I came back, I found out she'd been forcefully dragged into the palace by the emperor. She was made a consort that very day, and I was so mad I was about to gnaw my teeth off. That trash emperor was probably feeling guilty. So he made me a jade seal princess to show his sincere love. But during the grand investiture ceremony, my mom gave him the coldest shoulder. Her face was scrunched up the whole time. Anyone who didn't know would think she just lost another husband. The moment I saw my mom, I started to wail, but like, with rhythm, with melody, with style. My crying was an art form. The court musicians were about to blow their lungs out, but they still couldn't drown out my earth-shattering wails. Oh dear little sis, you're so happy, you're crying. Someone go comfort her. I beg you, just act like a human. Please don't cry, my heart can't take it. Don't be heartbroken. I just want to die. No, don't die. Is that all you've got? Seriously? Okay, so how do I make you stop crying? Should I go kill your father? Or, you know, just give me a bigger place to live. No, don't be sad. The moment I was outside the forbidden cities, I started sobbing like a monsoon, making sure all the officials and common folk saw that trash emperor bullying a child. For 3 days, the emperor couldn't even get into the consort's palace. At court, he was practically drowned in his officials' complaints. Finally, he couldn't take it anymore, waved his hand, and sent the crown prince to comfort me. Today, the crown prince wasn't in his usual flowing robes, but something with tight sleeves. If he wasn't afraid of being impeached, he probably wouldn't even wear these tight sleeves. He'd just rock a short shirt and rub chili oil on his arms. Tong Xiao you don't understand how she feels, he starts, then cuts himself off. Understand my ass. It's not your dad who got married. Plus, you got a beautiful new mom out of it. So what exactly do you want? I want to see my mom every single day. The emperor already made you a princess. You can live in a palace with your mother until you get married. So basically, I'm also trapped in this forbidden city, aren't I? Your girl just wants freedom. Okay, so our girl can stay at the princess's manor outside the palace. I want to see my mom every single day. Seriously, I want to live outside the palace in a princess's manor, and I need to see my mom every single day. I'm telling you, princess's manor outside the palace, and my mom, daily visits. Our crown prince, looking like a broken record player, took a deep breath, then stood up and did some military house thanks, like he was trying to reset. Only ended trying to negotiate, make safe threats with sweet talk. Meanwhile, I was in full dramatic crush mode while he tried gently to persuade. Your girl's eyes were practically swimming in tears. Our crown prince talked himself hoarse. His face turned pale and his eyes looked dead inside from exhaustion. But me, the more he talked, the harder I cried. Your mom here controls all four seas, sweetie. Whatever you want, I can give you. This world is so unfair. The stars above say nothing, but us poor children down here, we just miss our moms. Your Highness, surely you've missed your mom, right? Seeing the pained, vulnerable look in our crown prince's eyes, I quietly swallowed my apology. Shoot, I forgot you don't have a mother. Don't cry anymore, because from today onwards, your mama here will be your new mom. I was flabbergasted. Our crown prince completely abandoned the path of king to cultivate the path of mother. After his grand "I'm your new mom" declaration, that night, I was lying stiff as a board in bed, listening to him read to me. A freaking Dao De Jing, and it was all because I accidentally mumbled that my mom used to read me stories every night when I was a kid. Our crown prince's eyes lit up with grimace, and he immediately pulled out his ancient book. He barely got through a few sentences before my eyelids started a full-blown oxen mesh. Hold the great image, the world will follow and not suffer harm. Peace and tranquility. So what does this line mean, the big elephant goes traveling the world and doesn't get hurt, then the whole world will be peaceful. Ahem, mama here is trying to test you. When the world has the Tao, horses return to fertilize the fields. When the world lacks the Tao, war horses are born in the suburbs. And this one, if there's a road, the horses can just chill. But if there's no road, war horses will be born in the burbs. Your Highness, this girl is actually kinda slow, you know? Stop sleeping, young lady. Memorize the Tao Te Ching, and then mama here will tell you stories. Crown Prince, you're so my mom right now. Standing ovation. Who can pull an all-nighter like this guy? After forcing me to read half the book, our Crown Prince finally remembered his one job tonight was to put me to sleep. Hung Xiao Yu, when your real mom used to tell you stories, which book did she use? Wait, what kind of ridiculousness is this now? It's read already. Mom just like read to me, not tested me in ancient philosophy. Our Crown Prince could only start reading, stuttering and stammering. The content inside was so wild, it made him break out in a cold sweat. This time the tables had completely turned. I closed my eyes, buzzing with energy, while our Crown Prince's voice got progressively softer, until he was just a continuous stream of sleepy yawns. What? Stop reading already. Our Crown Prince, looking like a ghost, had just visited him, had no choice but to sit up. The weak robotic drone of reading started up once more. The next morning, our Crown Prince's eyes were bloodshot. He barely managed to drag himself out of bed for warning court. Your Highness, you're late. I'm here just had a bit of insomnia last night, that's all, so I woke up a tad late. Does this servant need to go wake up Princess UGA? Are you out of your mind? Mama here finally managed to get that girl to sleep after so much trouble. Pass down the order. Whoever dares to wake up Princess UGA, I will exterminate their entire 9 generations. The girl just let out a sleepy yawn, rolled over, and went right back to dreamland. Your Highness! Your Highness! Miss Yi is here to see you. I startled awake, and my first instinct was to look for my mom. Instead, I saw our Crown Prince at the desk next to me, gingerly approving official documents. The moment his eyes landed on me, I could practically see the trauma of his sleepless night flashing before them. Oh, for goodness sake, I'll go down and chop them myself. No, stop. My mom is super gentle. She wouldn't even hurt a fly, much less kill a chicken. But mama here already killed her chicken. I'm just a little baby. I don't understand anything you're saying. Wait, what are we even talking about? Didn't you see? Like, I'm looking for you. Don't keep her waiting. Go on. Your girl is super curious why any girl would actively seek him out. Your Highness, who TF is she? Excuse me, what? Seriously, who is she? She's Yi Lin Lang, Grand Tutor Yi's daughter, and the Crown Princess to be your Imperial daddy picked out for you. Lin Lang, this is Princess Yu, freshly enfeoffed by His Majesty. Just treat her like a niece, fam. Oh, hello, Sister Yi, look how much Xiao Yu has grown. I even used to carry you when you were tiny. Hold up, as far as I know, Grand Tutor Yi's daughter is only 1 year older than me. If carrying me meant picking me up just to trip and drop me, then yeah, she carried me alright. 10 years later, and who knew our seniority would do a full 180. So, what does she want from you then? My family is hosting a flower banquet today, and would love for your Highness to grace us with your presence. You're not familiar with the place. Why don't you take Xiao Yu out to play, watch her carefully, and don't let her eat just anything. Wait, does she think my house is a daycare center? I remember when we were kids, Yi Lin Lang was the literal street boss, and her hands were bigger than my thighs. She even stole my precious 5 dried fish. If she actually becomes the Crown Princess, will I ever know peace again? Will she seriously not bully me after she gets married? That day, almost every single young lady from the noble houses in the capital showed up for the Ye family's flower banquet. In their eyes, I was just a beautiful kid. Like mother, like daughter, they probably scared, implying my mom was trash, so I must eat too. Just look at her. So uncouth, no manners whatsoever. But I guess her status is different, so what can you expect, right? Meanwhile, in front of me was a tiny table absolutely laden with all sorts of dry fish. They were over there doing the poetry, flowers, snow and moonlight thing, while I was over here, happily chowing down. This simple orchid has such elegant colors, and a certain cloud-like scent. But her scent, what is that fragrance? So good? Smells pretty good, actually. Princess Yu, devouring food like that at such an elegant flower banquet. Honestly, you're no better than a wild peony from the sticks. What a country bumpkin, truly. Did the noble consort think just because she got into the dragon's bed, she didn't have to teach her daughter any manners? I stared at them blank-faced, my molars grinding so hard the dried fish in my mouth shattered into a million pieces. Your Highness Princess Yu, do you even know what this is? Not you recognize it. This is hibiscus flower, worth 1,000 gold, and possible find. Before she could even finish her sentence, I pounced like a hungry tiger, and absolutely devoured that flower. The girl, startled, immediately dropped her hand. Are you freaking insane? This hibiscus flower cost me 1,000 taels of silver, you lunatic. She charged at me, intending to slap me, but I blocked her mouth with a dried fish, as hard as a rock. Thanks to my extensive experience of being bullied by Yi Linlang, I quickly took her down. Minutes later, bodies were strewn across the ground. When Yi Linlang returned, she couldn't believe this was her family's exquisite and magnificent back garden. What in the actual heck just happened here? You gotta believe me. There was totally a tornado just now. Where are the flowers? The fish ate them. And where are the fish? I ate them. Tang Xiaoyu, do you think I'm a complete idiot? She told me to do it. She told me to call her a wild peony from the sticks. Who told you to actually chew it, though? Tell me, those 3 words, did you say them or not? I said it was a metaphor. If you don't understand the metaphor, whose fault is that? Have you two argued enough already? Watching Yi Linlang's face darken ominously with every step she took toward me. In that moment, humanity finally remembered the sheer primal fear of being absolutely dominated by her. What's up? What's going on now? Our crown prince completely ghosted those messy-haired young ladies, his eyes absolutely glued to my neck. Missy, is this how you're babysitting our girl? Your Royal Highness, Xiao Yu was just having a grand old time with young ladies, and totally didn't notice a rogue flower branch giving her a little kiss. Total normal, nothing see here. Oh, so this is your deficient normal. Your Highness, you're being a little extra, it's just a tiny scratch from a branch. Oh, really now? Go on, give those young ladies a matching mark. And just like that, every single esteemed young lady suddenly had an identical mark in their neck, or NL is not playing around. Now this is what I call normal. He wants me to mother his child, not outdo my own mom, right? Back when I helped our crown prince achieve his motherhood dreams, I seriously did think he'd go this unhinged. Our crown prince marched straight to the emperor, begged off being agent, got a royal level roasting, and came sinking back. Father, I'll be back, mark my words. Turns out, Yi Linlang's dad was literally the current emperor's master, and half the court officials were his former students, with the other half. Talk about having connections. Yi Linlang's older brother, Yi Zhenbei, commanded a whole 300,000 iron cavalry troops holding down a fort at border. You not mess with this family. To top it all off, the Yi family had saved the funding for life 3 times. They had so many dead exhibition gold tokens, they literally used them as coasters. Absolute VIPs, truly. So, this whole childhood sweetheart's marriage? Nah, fam. It was a strategic locked-in chess move by the emperor, all for our crown prince. Our crown prince, wanting to make up for all trauma endured with the Yi family, decided to personally whip up a mother's living dinner for me. Simp energy intensifies. Bro, Mother Junzi stays far away from the kitchen. How about we just grab some takeout? Xiao Yu, other people have mothers, and our girl deserves one too. Our crown prince went straight to the imperial kitchen, cooked her some delicacies. Our tired ML, whose eyes were probably glazed over from proving countless memorials, meticulously measured every spice. He probably thought he was whipping up a culinary masterpiece, but then the eunuch taste tester took one bite, and was immediately yeeted. Then, the serving eunuchs and water-carrying palace maids, all enthusiastically invited by our crown prince, started dropping like flies one by one. The hall from the eastern palace of the imperial infirmary was literally a streaming people highway. The imperial infirmary hadn't seen this much excitement in decades. Peak chaos, truly. Heads were overflowing with patients, and imperial physicians were literally on the brink of blast from overwork. And what did our crown prince do? He brings his masterpiece dishes to the infirmary to treat the already suffering physicians. Bro, as no chill. Behind this humble subject deserves to die 1,000 deaths. This humble subject just remembered. I've been poisoned. I truly can't eat another bite. Maybe let the other imperial physicians enjoy it? My stomach, my head. I'm dying. I'm literally dying. My whole body is jelly. I can't even stand. Before morning court, Deputy Minister Yi teamed up with other big-shot officials, flexing their power and cornering the emperor in front of the palace. They claimed it was for justice for those poor souls in the infirmary, but let's be real, it was pure, unadulterated revenge. Turned out last night, Yi Linlang went to find Crown Prince in the palace, only to be bamboozled and be his unwilling taste tester. Rip her eyes. Linlang, this is a pastry your Crown Prince personally baked for you. Hurry and try it. Your Highness, you're not mad at your girl, are you? Silly goose, how could I ever be mad at you? Yi Linlang, absolutely thrilled, took a bite of the pastry. Fast forward to her returning home, spending the entire night in the bathroom, and emerging with shaky legs. Her dad, Deputy Minister Yi, who literally spoils his daughter rotten, finally hit his breaking point. My whole daughter only came for a visit, and His Highness forced her to drink 3 bowls of hot soup. I beg your majesty, please deliver justice for your humble subject. Empress sat on his throne, watching these aggressive headache-inducing officials, practically on the verge of aneurysm. But then, plot twist. Our Crown Prince voluntarily stepped up and confessed. All the officials were shooketh, and honestly, so was I. Crown Prince, draw to the border, earn some merit and atone for your sins. But why you dragged me into this? After the Emperor approved the plan, probably terrified of my mom's wrath, he immediately sent her 100 boxes of jewels. Smart move, your majesty. Their cute little dried fish at the border? Yes, as long as Xiao Yu wants it, anything is yours. So what if I miss my mama? Silly goose, am I not your mother? The way to the border, I was lounging in a carriage-lined luxurious swan fur, absolutely captivated by Shen Yu across from me, diligently knitting a sweat with tiny needles. I was so utterly mesmerized, I probably broke something just by staring. Oops, my bad, compensate him, I thought. Half a month later, I pulled back the carriage curtain. Outside, amidst a hazy golden sandstorm, 300,000 iron cavalry troops were lined up, radiating an intense murderous aura. The air itself smelled faintly of blood. Talk about a dramatic entrance. Yi Zhenbei, astride a menacing black warhorse, heavy sword in hand, fixed his icy gaze on us. It was the kind of look that said, Your Highness, the border winds are wild and you should totally get some rest. OMG, this place is worse than the chicken coop my mom kept back at the capital. They're clearly trying to make things hard for our girl. General Yi, are you seriously disrespecting our crown princess like this? All the soldiers at the border are like this, Your Highness. If you can't hack it, maybe go back to the capital and be your mom's little princess? Knowing Shen Yu's fiery temper, if this keeps up, he's gonna end up looking like Swiss cheese. Then, the light bulb went off in my head, and I dramatically rolled myself right out of the carriage. OMG, why is this happening? Not only did you trap me in this carriage, but you're also bullying the crown prince? You seriously have no respect for the emperor. Yi Zhenbei was totally flabbergasted by my weird antics, mumbling what nonsense is this, and then told me to get up. Just then, the crown prince stepped down from his carriage and came straight for me. He walked over and dusted all the grime off my clothes. General Yi, are you seriously trying to rebel here? No matter how arrogant Yi Zhenbei was, he wouldn't dare openly rebel in front of all these soldiers. So, what do you even want? Your commander's tent, now. Ever since our crown prince commandeered Yi Zhenbei's commander's tent, it transformed from a weapon-filled military base into a nursery for clever little kiddos. I was chilling on a plush bed with 3 layers of sheepskin blankets, peeking through curtains at the soldiers' training, thinking like, what's so interesting about watching guys sweat? Your Highness, don't you see these poor guys are practically starving to death? That trash Yi Zhenbei must have totally embezzled their military rations. Do you see that watery ruler calling food? So, what if they are? Your Highness, you just need to worry about your belly being full, okay? Nope, I'm not eating anymore. Looking at them starve, my heart literally aches. Besides, if I don't eat, I'll get thin. And if I get thin, then you won't be a good caretaker, now will you? Shen Yu's hand literally trembled like he'd just heard state secrets, and he quickly whipped out a stack of silver notes, telling me to go feed the soldiers till they burst. My eyes lit up like Christmas, and both my hands simultaneously snatched the silver notes. Then I casually grabbed 3 to 5 boxes of hand cream and zoomed straight out of the commander's tent. Don't walk, run. Your girl boss is here personally delivering supplies to all you big bros. Your Highness, this might be against regulations. But hey, rules are dead, people are living, right? General Yi doesn't care about you guys, but your crown prince does. You're all my precious babies. Alright. Hands out, people. This, my friends, is what we call invincible hand cream. Slap it on, and your hands won't crack, your skin will be baby smooth, and your archery will be like 10 times stronger. After washing, make sure to dry your hands. Don't just let them air dry, okay? Apply a good amount, and by tomorrow, be the hottest, most handsome dudes on the entire border. There you go. In less than half an hour, the gazes of those cavalry soldiers looking at me completely shifted. They went from this child is crazy to OMG, she's a living goddess. Princess, you are literally a fairy descended from the heavens. I'm this old, and this is the first time anyone's cared if my hands were chapped. General Yi might be stingy AF, but our crown prince totally pities you guys. After all, in his highness's eyes, you're all children of the great sage. This kind of gentle, almost cringeworthy sweetness, it's literally the fastest way to win hearts. The soldiers' gazes towards the commander's tent slowly but surely started to shift. Tang Xiaoyu, you dare incite the army? General Yi, I'm just following the crown prince's orders. If you're mad, go take it out on his highness. Assemble all the officers. This general is going to go have a chat with this so-called crown prince. To show off his might to the sickly crown prince, Yi Zhenbei decided to flex his skills in front of all his officers. Oh, how mighty our general is. The border is harsh and cold, nothing like the cozy eastern palace. Your highness is used to holding embroidery needles. I wonder if you can even hold this 100-jin bow? Embroidery needles can sew flowers, general, and it can just as easily sew your big mouth shut. For the generals, our prince was just a sickly boy pampered by the emperor, basically playing mom to everyone else. But who would have thought our prince would just casually grab a mighty bow, and before he even aimed, 3 arrows whooshed through a bullseye, not just hitting the mark, but completely shredding the arrows Yi Zhenbei left behind. The entire field instantly fell silent, so quiet you'd hear a pin drop. Yi Zhenbei's face went completely ashen, so pressed he instantly drew his sword and pointed it straight at our prince. Everyone assumed our prince would be powerless, but plot twist. His movements were fast and elusive, like a literal phantom. Sword gleamed and flashed as he moved, but the duel between them lasted barely a few exchanges. Our prince, like true master, skillfully wielded his long sword, not only sending Yi Zhenbei's heavy blade flying, but also holding his sharp sword steadily against this general Zhenbei's throat. General Yi's swordsmanship is alright, our prince snarked, but your footwork, that definitely needs more practice. After this battle, whispers of Prince's legendary might and wisdom spread like wildfire throughout the entire army camp. If he leads the land in the future, seriously, who would even dare to invade? Yi Zhenbei watched as his once loyal subordinates began to whisper among themselves about the prince's sheer awesomeness. That bitterness of being outshined finally boiled over into straight-up killer vibes. Our prince was still the prince, and his skills were crazy strong, so Yi Zhenbei didn't dare confront him directly. So our girl, who was just wandering the camp all day, spreading good vibes and kindness to the soldiers, suddenly became his target. Literally dozens of masked assassins, like literal phantoms, rushed out from the shadows, the blade glinting with a cold, menacing light under the moon. Death was certain, yet even though these soldiers were absolutely terrified, not a single one backed down to protect our girl. Just as our girl clapped from exhaustion, thinking she was about to kick a bucket, right then there, a dark figure with a whistling wind whooshed onto the battlefield like a shooting star. Guess who? Our simp ML. You dared to lay a hand on my girl? He roared. Tell me, how exactly do you plan on dying? In that moment, his aura of absolute rage and violence completely exploded. In the blink of an eye, the chaotic battlefield went from mayhem to dead silence. Besides our girl, not a single soul was left alive. Back in the commander's tent, our prince was frantically rushing around, looking for a medicine box. Our girl sat on the edge of the bed, blood-stained knees and all, looking absolutely pitiful. Wait, hold on, our girl cried. Your mom, can you be a little more gentle? Please, a little more gentle. Shut up. Wu Cho is your mom. Our ML's hands, usually steady as a rock even when slaying 5 or 6 assassins, were now shaking frantically. Right then, he looked nothing like a mom at all. Instead, he was the picture of a totally reliable, incredibly attractive man. Yi Zhenbei knew deep down that as soon as our prince recovered, he'd hunt him down, even if he had to dig 3 feet under. So, the villain Yi Zhenbei first penned a secret message to the second prince, then deliberately left 30,000 of our army trapped and besieged by the enemy at Duanhun Pass. We are completely, utterly surrounded. When word of the trapped soldiers reached the main camp, this sneaky old fox was putting on quite the performance. Just down to the command and he cried, "How could my 30,000 soldiers be in such a state? This is unacceptable. Is heaven trying to doom our borderlands?" He then proposed that he and our prince each lead separate forces to break the siege and rescue them. Our prince definitely had his doubts, but for the sake of his soldiers' lives, he immediately put his suspicions aside and agreed. A scholar cannot become a soldier. It's hard for commoners to rise to greatness. Win as a king, lose as a man. It's all or nothing, and it's decided tonight. The moment our prince's troops barely entered the encirclement, Yi Zhenbei did a full 180, commanding, "The entire army awaits orders. Violate them, and you die." "But our grand commander, the prince, is still down there," a soldier cried. "We can't just..." It was clear as day. Yi Zhenbei wanted our prince to have messy death in the chaotic battle. Below Duanhun Pass, our prince, alone with his sword, was slaying enemies until his armor was torn to shreds, as his close guards fell one by one. This prince, infamous for his tyranny, now had eyes filled with despair and fierce resentment. Death itself wasn't his fear. His real fear was what happened after he died. That naive little girl who just knew how to munch on dried fish would all alone. Just as our prince ran out of steam, the enemy general's blade was about to slide down. But then a booming earth-shattering roar suddenly echoed out of nowhere from the nearby mountainside. "Soldiers, these are the base soldiers who owe me big time." I, clad in blue armor, bearing the Shen family banner, led a massive cavalry charge down. Good thing I wasn't just sitting pretty in the family estate these past few days. When I arrived at a space where Yi Zhenbei had been siphoned off supplies, I'd already seen through that old dog's fake facade. The soldiers couldn't even survive, not even a hot bowl of soup to drink. While the commander-in-chief feasted inside, we were left to die outside. But I, using the Shen family's name, went everywhere, distributing gifts to soldiers, and finally won over a massive amount of their loyalty. Though these cavalry were not elite, with my material and spiritual investment, their combat power soared. They surged forward, like a flood from behind, breaking through the enemy's encirclement, snatching Crown Prince from the jaws of death. After pushing back the enemy, I not only brought back reinforcements, but also conveniently seized the enemy commander's camp. There, I not only found letters, proving Yi Zhenbei's collusion with the enemy, but also his handwritten letters, selling off our defense maps. When Shen Yu returned to the main camp, Yi Zhenbei was still in his commander's tent, scheming how to write a report about Crown Prince Junguo. And that was just the beginning. At night, Grand Tutor Yi secretly met with Second Prince. The Second Prince, who had long coveted the imperial throne, quickly reached an agreement. But to prevent the Second Prince from pulling the ladder after he ascended the throne, Grand Tutor Yi even proposed a condition that was almost insane. "Your Highness, my daughter has been waiting a long time in her boudoir." The Second Prince gritted his teeth and endured, his visit lasting until 7 times in one night. When he emerged, his legs trembling, unable to stand steady. As for Grand Tutor Yi, after confirming his daughter was pregnant, he mobilized his faction of civil officials, using his immense power to coordinate with the Second Prince's private army, secretly replacing all imperial guards in the palace with his own people. From now on, without this commander's order, not even a fly shall escape this palace. The imperial guards were changed. Elsewhere, the Crown Prince took a deep breath, as if he'd finally decided to risk everything. "Xiao Yu, I no longer want to be your mother. This relationship status, I want to change it." "Change what? You want to be my father?" "Shen Yu, this guy is really taking too much advantage." "I want to become your husband." Tang Xiaoyu, listen closely. I want you to become the most esteemed person in this entire world. My brain immediately short-circuited. Help, mom turned into a hubby. This relationship change is a longer journey than from the border to the capital. I haven't mentally prepared to go from daughter to wife. What if I slip up and say something dumb? Who's gonna coax me to sleep then? After we marry, we'll sleep together every single day. I'll be right there to coax you to sleep. Grand Tutor Yi had already led his troops to swarm the emperor's bedchambers, forcing the emperor to depose the crown prince, establish the second prince as a new one. The crown prince has rebelled at the border. We have concrete evidence, your majesty. Please make a decision. But he never expected my mother to whip out evidence of his own son colluding with the enemy. Grand Tutor Yi decisively stopped tending, immediately sending people to find the emperor's tiger talent. Even after ransacking the entire house, they couldn't find it. Turns out, when my mother received the letter, she didn't say another word. She stormed directly into the imperial study, forced the emperor to hand over the tiger tally, and sent it to the border for the crown prince. The emperor was still hesitating when my mother let out a cold laugh, grabbed his hand, and gently twisted it half a turn. Are you gonna hand over? Are you gonna hand it over? I'm asking you, are you gonna hand it over? Hand it over. Hand it over right now. Just take it. And just like that, the tiger tally, capable of commanding the world's arms, was sent straight into the crown prince's hands via an 800-mile emergency express before the second prince couldn't his move. So when news broke that the emperor was on his deathbed and passing the throne to the second prince, our crown prince gave a cold, dead laugh, pulled out his tiger tally, settled 100,000 troops, and marched straight back to the capital. What was said when the second prince heard the crown prince was leading 100,000 troops back? This dude wasn't Vince Wen. He stood on the sea walls, acting like he just won the lottery. Shen Yu, he sneered. If you don't know your place, don't blame me for what happens next. Because he had 200,000 young, healthy, peak-performance soldiers, plus the capital was a defensive fortress, and the crown prince, he was just bringing back a bunch of old, washed-up veterans from the border. Lol. In his mind, this was a clear-cut, guaranteed W. But the moment the two armies clashed, plot twist of the century. The lines were drawn, the battle about to commence. Dad? Is that old man back in capital? Dad, stop fighting. It's me, your kid. Before the battle could even really start, it instantly devolved into a chaotic, tearful family reunion as young soldiers stumbled upon their long-lost dads. Turns out, years ago, the founding emperor, wanting to secure his empire, secretly sent 100,000 young women to the border to marry the soldiers there. Once pregnant, they were secretly whisked away. The children born were then organized into an army, eventually distributed among the various regional lords across the land. Even Yi Zhenbei, who'd been stationed at the border for years, had no clue about this wild secret, because the only reason he even got that border post was thanks to his ancestors' achievements. Fighting your own dad in a battle? What kind of chaotic energy is this? It's your unfilial son. Your son will give you pocket money. And just like that, without even lifting a finger, the crown prince absolutely obliterated the second prince's emperor dreams. Meanwhile, back in prison, Yi Zhenbei was still calculating how, once the second prince ascended, he'd be named prince with a different surname and be living a good life. When he saw the prison door open, he thought someone was finally coming to release him. Instead, he saw his crying younger sister and his father, with a face full of complicated emotions. The three of them stared at each other, eyes wide, before the prison guard unceremoniously shoved them all into the same cell. After all that drama, the emperor saw that the crown prince could totally handle things on his own, so he passed him the throne. But the reality? He just wanted to retire early because my mom hates palace life and just wanted to globetrot. And my wedding with Shen Yu? It was finally about to begin. That day, everyone in the capital witnessed what a real 10-Lai red wedding procession looked like. From the Eastern Palace all the way to Jinluan Hall, there was literally a wedding banquet table every 3 steps. Your Highness, aren't we being a little extra? Xiaoyu, he corrected. You're using the wrong title. From today on, in this palace, there's no crown prince, no my lord, only your hubby. In the main hall, the emperor sat up straight, his eyes a little red-rimmed, a proud smirk on his face that his son had finally sealed the deal. My mom sat beside him, perfectly prim and proper, but when no one was looking, she gave me a sneaky wink and a secret thumbs up. What a legend. I almost snored laughing. Through the gap under my wedding veil, I saw Shen Yu's sleeve gently brush. He was bowing so seriously, and as he dipped down, his hand almost grazed mine. In that moment, I felt a sudden flutter of something. From him, being the crown prince to her everything, from burning the midnight oil studying classics to battling on the border. Our journey together was definitely a bumpy one. He'd call me dumb, I'd complain he was annoying, but every single time I turned around, he was always there. From today onward, you are officially my empress. Entering the wedding chamber, Shen Yu wasn't nearly as impatient as I'd expected. But hey, we'd finally made it to this moment. I did full-on triple skip, and I started babbling like an admin. Your Highness is wrong. Hubby is also wrong. Mother, Shen Yu's smile froze solid on his lips, and I frantically corrected myself. Should you call me parent? Tang Xiaoyu, his eyes glinted. Looks like someone got an itch they weren't scratched.